Shadow Shiny Groudon makes its debut this weekend in Pokemon Go. Here are the best tips and strategies to use for taking this Pokemon down and getting more out of its raid weekend. So Saturday, September 20th, 6 a.m. to Sunday, September 21st, 10 p.m. is going to be Shadow Groudon raid weekend, in which Shadow Groudon will be spawning in tier 5 Shadow raids at the event. They'll be boosted, but they'll be randomly spawning at gyms, not at every single gym. They'll just be mixed in, and you'll be able to claim 1 extra daily raid pass on Saturday and Sunday for a total of 2 free raids a day. Tip later on this video on how to make that 3. There's going to be a $5 USD ticket you can go ahead and buy in game, or you can buy it in the web store. If you do buy in the web store, you do get 1 free raid pass included. So highly recommend, if you're going to buy it through the web store. Now this is a 2-day ticket and it's going to last all day, in which you will get the bonuses of 5 additional raid passes per day, so up to 7 daily raid passes per day, 50% additional XP from completing raids, and 2 times raid Stardust. Now defeat a Shadow Groudon raid and you will have an encounter with Shadow Groudon, which can be shiny with a rate of 1 in 20. Its 100% IV non-weather boosted is going to be 2351, and in sunny and clear skies weather will be 2939. Now, unlike tier 5 raids where the IV floor is 10-10-10, Shadow tier 5 raids have an IV floor of 6-6-6, meaning it's going to be a little bit harder to get the 100% IV. However, if you do manage to catch a Shadow Groudon with the IVs of 13-13-13, you can purify it to turn it into a Hundo purified Groudon, which of course you can then primal revert. So if your Shadow Groudon is around the CP of 2315 or 2893, you might have a purified Hundo Groudon. Now, how do you take down Groudon? Well, Shadow Groudon is going to be a pure normal type, making it weak to water, grass, and ice. And since it's a Shadow raid, it can get enraged, aka when its HP drops around 50%, it's going to become enraged, in which its attack and defense stats are going to be increased, making it harder to take it down. Now, you can subdue and remove that enraged state by using purified gems, in which you have to use a total of 8 purified gems collectively to subdue a Shadow Groudon. Individually, you can only use up to 5 purified gems, so meaning if you're soloing this, you're going to need at least 2 players pretty much to subdue a Shadow Groudon and pretty much being able to take it down. Using purified gems, you should be able to take on Shadow Groudon with minimum 2 people, but most likely 3, 4, or 5 people. However, if you have a lobby size of like 10 to 20 people, you don't even really need to use purified gems. You can just kind of push through the pain. Speaking of, the best Pokemon to use are going to be in order of Primal Kyogre, White Kyurem, Mega Sceptile, Black Kyurem, Shadow Kyogre, Mega Swampert, Shadow Regigigas, Mega Rayquaza, Mega Venusaur, Kartana, Shadow Swampert, Zarude, Eternatus, Shadow Sceptile, Mega Gardevoir, Shadow Feraligatr, Shadow Crawdon, Crown Shield Zamazenta, Shaman in the Sky form, Quags Quaval, Shadow Gyarados, Shadow Venusaur, Shadow Tangrowth, and Mega Gallade. Overall, I recommend 4+ trainers. You should have no problem taking this down. If you have the top counters, you can even go for less. But is this Pokemon actually worth going after? With Mudshot and Precipice Blades, Shadow Groudon is currently the number 3 ground type raid attacker in Pokemon Go. With a DPS of 20.8, it only puts it behind Mega Garchomp and Primal Groudon. Shadow Groudon is also ranked 35 in the Master League, and regular Groudon being ranked 18, so it's a good Pokemon to use there as well. And this is a functional 100% IV Pokemon, meaning a 15-15-14 IV has the exact same stats as a 15-15-15, since the HP stat does get rounded. So if you get a 15-15-14, that is a Hundo technically. Now, of course, use Groudon in its super strong state. You do need to go ahead and have a lot of candies for it. So here are the top tips I recommend using during this event. Number 1, use Pineapple Berries, or more likely Silver Pineapple Berries, any Groudons you catch. These will double your catch candy or 2.34 times your catch candy. If you're going to be using pineapples, use silvers because it's going to make it easier to catch Shadow Groudon, and also combo this with the Ice Burn Adventure Effect. Using Ice Burn Adventure Effect from White Kyurem will give you a 1.5 times catch multiplier and slow down the catch ring. So you can go ahead and use pineapples and Silver Pineapple Berries and still successfully catch Groudons. Because if you ever tried to use it on a legendary, you know that without Golden Raspberries, it's pretty hard to catch a legendary, but not with Ice Burn. Also, highly recommend you Mega Evolve a ground type during this event. Groudon being a ground type Pokemon, any Groudons you catch, if you have a ground type Mega active, you'll get more candy, XP, and XL candy for catching Pokemon of that type. Your options are Mega Steelix, Mega Swampert, Primal Groudon, or Mega Garchomp to Mega Evolve, but I would highly recommend Mega Swampert because you can also use that as a raid attacker when taking on Groudon. I'd also highly recommend transferring Pokemon on September 30th, because September 30th is Aeron Spotlight Hour, and from 6 to 7 p.m. we have the bonus of 2 times transfer candy. So save your Shadow Groudons, the bad IV ones, and transfer them for 2 candies instead of 1 during that time. Again, mark your calendars, September 30th at 6 p.m. Now, most likely with level 80 coming out, we're going to need more platinum medals to go ahead and level up. So what are the best platinum medals to work on during this event? Of course, the Battle Legend medal, win 2,000 legendary raids, a great one to go ahead and work on by doing Shadow Groudons. And highly recommend you raid with a friend to work on your Rising Star Duo medal, win 2,000 raids with a friend. Also, before this event, remember remember to go into your advanced settings, download all assets, and turn on native refresh rate. This will make for a much smoother gameplay experience. You can also set a buddy list to the great buddy level, giving you access to the buddy bounce back. So if you're ever missing a throw on a Shadow Groudon during this event, your buddy can go ahead and bounce it back, saving you one of those valuable Premier Balls. Now, if you want to do more raids as a free-to-play player during this event and make it up to 5, you can save a raid pass from the day before, meaning on Friday, September 19th, don't use your orange raid pass. Just spin a gem, collect it, and then bring it over into Saturday. This will give you a total of 3 raids on Saturday, and then go ahead and collect your 2 free raids on Sunday. But you can take this even further by attending a community ambassador meetup. If you go on Campfire, you sort by meetups, you look for the ones hosted by a community ambassador, you can go ahead and attend these meetups. And when you check into these meetups, you get a timed research that will give you a free raid pass. And that's going to be on each day, meaning you get an extra free raid pass on Saturday and an extra free raid pass on Sunday if there's meetups on each of those days. So as a free-to-play player, you can get a total of 7 free raids following these techniques. Campfire is also another great resource to go ahead and find shadow raids. So if you're looking for where they're going to be spawning, because they will be a little bit more spread out, you can use Campfire and use the map feature to sort by gyms and find out where they're spawning. Now, Shadow Groudon is not the only reason you want to play this event, because the resource grind is huge, specifically XP. During the Shadow Raid weekend, we do have the bonuses from the XP celebration event, meaning you'll get an additional 3,000 XP per raid you complete, so 13,000 XP per raid you complete, and that's 26,000 XP on a lucky egg. If you have the raid day ticket as well, that will also give you 50% more XP. You're getting up to 36,000 XP per raid you complete. So of course, using a lucky egg and doing as many raids is a great thing during this event, and the best way to use lucky eggs is through party play. When you party up with your friends, not only will you get access to the party power, meaning you can go ahead and charge a meter in raids that you can go ahead and activate, and it'll give you double damage on your charge moves, but also you can share items, and you can double the value of your items by sharing them. When you share a lucky egg in a party of 4, everyone gets 15 minutes of lucky egg. If you were to use it on yourself, you'd only get 30 minutes, doubling the value. So if you and some friends go ahead and party up, you guys can all share 4 lucky eggs each, and everyone's going to get 4 hours of a lucky egg through sharing. Now, you can only share up to 4 items a day, so you only get access to 4 hours of shared lucky egg a day, but you can use that on Saturday and Sunday. If you're going to grind all day, every single day, you might have to use lucky eggs of your own, but still very effective. You can also share incenses and star pieces if you want to take advantage of that. Now, once the event is over, I'd highly recommend you remove frustration from your Shadow Groudons. I see a lot of people always just jumping the gun and being too forward on which ones they're going to go ahead and power up, and set a reminder to remove frustration and power up potentially some of the good Shadow Groudons you do end up getting. It's always best to do as many Groudon raids as you can, because you never know, you might end up getting a hundo on the last raid, and that might be the one you want to power up. So only remove frustration from your Shadow Groudons once the event is over. Unless you end up getting a hundo during the event, you might as well do it then. Watch the other video on screen if you enjoyed this one, guys. Good luck during this raid weekend. Have a lot of fun. I'm excited to play it. Follow for more tips. Peace.